though he does fear, based on what we're seeing behind us right now, that we are going to lose some buildings tonight. Quite windy down here, which is making for nightmarish fire conditions, but you can see part of the fire behind me. The flames keep whipping up. It is moving fast. That drop of water we just saw was actually a lot closer than it's been, and that just kind of tells you this fire behavior. This is the scene. We're getting reports of flooding like this across the valley. We're more downtown, north of downtown Las Vegas right now. This road was completely covered in rubble and tree debris as high as this right here.
And that's where we find our Brett Forrest. I just saw a lightning strike behind you live on TV just a second ago. And we also see people now caught in some of the mud and muck in that part of town.
Yeah, Dana, I'm right at the intersection of Blue Diamond and Rainbow. The wind is picking up too. The rain is back. I'm watching some of those big traffic cones get blown across this intersection here. You can see this is a funeral home behind me. I'll step out of the way real quick. They started the process about an hour ago. You can see this big excavator. They broke through the roof of the tiles. Yeah, Anderson, I was here for a different assignment this morning, and right when I was wrapping up my interviews with these senior students about to graduate in 2 weeks, people started coming into our room, barreling through the doors, saying there's a shooter, active shooter. Badwater Basin, the lowest point in North America, and Death Valley, the hottest place on earth. Now, I'm not alone out here. Hundreds of others are making the trek and journey to visit this national park, but the big question is, why on earth would anyone want to do that? Blink and you'll miss it. The town is just 80 acres in size, and even though it is small, the plans for its future are big. With the nationwide pilot shortage stressing the aviation industry since the pandemic began, flight schools are saying now is the perfect time to take lessons, learn to become a student pilot. All right, so I'm now standing on the walkway between the Economy Lot and Terminal 1, and here's one of those portable lights behind me. It's actually not even turned on right now, proving the point of how dark it can be on this walkway, and I'll have my photographer turn off our camera light right now. You can see it is almost pitch black out here. I mean, to put it bluntly, are you saying the voters, the constituents just aren't smart enough to understand the difference between the two?
No, and I've answered emails exactly like this.
With Elon Musk's influence, do you think he should have that much influence over elected positions when he himself is unelected?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's sort of appointed by the president.
Hello and welcome to this special edition of News 5 after the presidential debate. I'm Allison Zimmerman.
And I'm Brett Forrest. While the presidential election is certainly the big story nationally, here at home, you'll have a lot more to decide on. All right, News 3 is your weather authority. We got Chloe Coates joining us. Chloe, it's kind of gross today, but can we expect a white Christmas?
Oh, I wish.
Our Brett Forrest joining us here in studio with what happened after he called Uber tonight.
Yeah, Jim, Marie, I do have to warn viewers right now that this video may be disturbing to some of you. The driver is recovering from her injuries tonight, but she feels like nobody cares about her situation. She wants help and she wants some justice.
Please check the seat.
A routine Uber drop-off turning into a brutal attack. Several of the passengers begin punching and attacking the driver, Victoria Partridge. The attack lasting around 30 seconds, but for Victoria, feeling like an hour.
I started thinking that I'm gonna die. And when they left, I was just praying, God, thank God I'm alive.
She's been a driver for over a year with over 4,000 rides. This one starting out as a pickup on Fremont Street. When she saw there were 7 people, she told them she couldn't take them since she only has 6 seatbelts.
They're like, we're not leaving. We need to get to our destination point. You're our last chance. Please, please, please.
After several minutes of arguing and opening and closing the doors, Victoria says she gave up and she took the 7 women. And what happens next, she's thankful she has on video.
And she started beating me up from this side. Another girl went out, opened my driver door, and she started beating me from that side.
She says the attackers also threw her phone, stole money out of her tip jar, and dented the side of her car. She filed a police report and contacted Uber as soon as she got home.
I don't know how long it will take and if we're gonna get anything for this. I don't know. I'm so frustrated.
She filed the Metro Police report on Sunday. 3 days later, she hasn't heard anything. So I called them, and they said she could be proactive and reach back out herself. As of now, they still haven't even taken her video evidence.
I didn't go to the hospital because I have no insurance. I was afraid. I didn't know if the Uber is going to cover it or not, because if they're not going to cover, I don't know how bill is going to be.
Now, a little positive news here. While reporting, I reached out to Uber myself asking what they're going to do, and Victoria tells me Uber finally contacted her tonight after my call, saying they'll cover 100% of the car repairs and deposit a $5,000 donation to her account, also saying they'll help the police investigation any way they can. Reporting live in studio, I'm Brett Forrest, News 3. Yeah, Bree, where is the support for the needle exchange ban? That's a question I've been digging into. Some public comments did support it ahead of the vote, but according to accounts by the Pueblo chieftain, that was only 6 people on May 13th. Dozens upon dozens of others urged the council not to enact it. I'm not denying support for the ban exists, but it is difficult to find the widespread support that some on the council claim.
They don't want to come in and make public statements, but they will call and they will reach out.
That's Pueblo City Councilwoman Regina Maestri just before she voted to ban needle exchange programs in the city.
We have a community here that's tired of it. And so they have asked us to bring something like this forward.
Despite overwhelming opposition to the ban during public comment, Maestri made claims that many constituents asked for it by other means.
He could have just voted for it and left it at that, but she chose to lie.
Emily Gradisar, who owns a Ethos creative space in Pueblo, recently penned an op-ed criticizing the city council's vote to ban needle exchange programs, going so far as to accuse Councilwoman Maestri of lying about the number of constituents reaching out in support.
Several of the other council members simply said, no, I'm supporting the needle ban, and left it at that. You didn't have to make up nonsense information.
In an effort to prove or disprove Gradisar's claims, I placed an open records request for Councilwoman Maestri's emails to see if there were people voicing support of a ban outside the council chambers. The result yielded hundreds of pages from about 70 emails. Of those, only 3 emails were sent to Maestri before the vote in support of a ban, seemingly going against the councilwoman's claims. So I reached out to see if she had other records to support what she said. I emailed and called, but did not receive a response before this story aired.
We have had testimony by public health officials, medical providers, medical professionals, and we bring data and facts. They've not had to do that.
Jude Solano runs one of the 2 needle exchange programs in Pueblo.
We hear again from public officials stating that there are hundreds of thousands and piles of syringes on every corner. Take a picture, let's see it.
The ban has since been put on hold due to an ACLU lawsuit.
What Pueblo has done is criminalize the very activity that the state has authorized.
The ACLU has not received records like the emails I received yet, saying the city of Pueblo has so far resisted requesting a large sum of money for those records.
We'll see if they can produce documents that there was a groundswell asking them to do this. But our position is it doesn't matter because the public health experts and the state of Colorado have said these programs are safe, they're effective.
In both the city council meetings public comments and in Councilwoman Maestri's emails, several medical experts urged the council to consider the data.
I couldn't believe what they were doing. I mean, it goes against any sense of science or medical care.
Like Dr. Libby Stout, an addiction psychiatrist.
But what you're telling me is maybe that's just short-term memory, that that problem existed long before these exchange programs.
Exactly right. That's very short-term memory because we were out there picking them up in parks. And I think that that's significantly reduced when they started the needle exchange program.
The preliminary injunction hearing about that ACLU lawsuit will be heard by a judge on July 10th. At that point, the ban could be reversed, upheld, or go to trial. And the ACLU says if it's upheld, other cities like Colorado Springs could seek to do the same.
A window of opportunity with airdrops, and more airdrops. Crews taking full advantage of less smoke. With air support being grounded for over a week, they didn't waste any time.
It's huge because it's getting in areas that we can't get any access to. You know, our hose can only stretch so far. Access to just getting in there, get fire engines in there, really hard for us to get there. So the helicopters are able to get into areas that we are not able to get into.
The air attack focusing on the big spot fire burning near the towns of Janesville and Milford. hoping to stop it from taking any more homes like it did Monday night. One man choosing not to evacuate, sending his wife away while staying behind to save their home.
It's more than just a piece of land. Everybody says, well, don't worry about it. It's just a TV. It's not that. It's more than that, you know.
He says his son cried when he wouldn't leave, and when the flames came, he was afraid.
I'd be stupid to tell you that I wasn't, definitely, but it's a different type of fear.
Fire crews saved his home. He says if flames come again, he won't stay. Crews hoping he won't face that choice. And the Dixie Fire now burning the equivalent of the state of Rhode Island. But if clear skies persist, hope can come from above. I'm Brett Forrest reporting, News 4 on your side.